What's up, Isha Talwar? From me, Hrishi K, and everybody who's watching, who's listening. It's good to see you. You're looking lovely and resplendent as always.
Thank you very much. Thank you. I think happiness is bringing it out.
You know, I don't know if you even celebrated it, but it's actually 20 years since you debuted as a child artist. Year 2000 was Hamara Dil Aapke Paas Hai.
Yeah, and then that was very,
Proper,
yeah, that was extremely brief though, because my
I
mother
know.
realized my daughter needs to study. Yeah, so that was extremely brief, and then of course it was dancing, and then dancing happened, and then I said I think it's acting. So yeah, that's how the
No,
acting.
but it's been an eventful journey. I mean, you eventually then became an actress only about 10, 12 years later. But, do you have any memories of that? Of being on that set as a little kid?
Yeah, of course I had a mustache. Sorry, I was playing Aishwarya Rai's younger sister. I was the youngest of the lot. And my friends used to really pull my leg because I had a dialogue which said, Didi आई थी हांडा गाड़ी में. Just be pulling my leg कि ये हांडा क्यों बोला तुमने? I said, भाई ऐसे बोला गया था बोलने को. They were from a certain strata of society apparently, and I think आज ऐसे कोई नहीं बोलेगा. No matter where you're from, तो हांडा गाड़ी. तो मेरे दोस्त बहुत मजाक उड़ाते थे मेरा. मेरे मम्मी ने छुड़वा दिया.
Lovely. So your Mirzapur co-star Ali says that he has really fond memories of being in St. Xavier's College with you, and you guys had the same subjects and things like that. And you must be really happy for all of Ali's success as much as he's happy for you.
Absolutely, with Fazal and me. So I used to be in Jehan for 3 years. I went to Xavier's in a audio. 14th is not typically when you switch colleges in
Yeah.
Bombay, which after 12th. And he was my first friend in college. So I said, chalo, at least some boy is being nice to me. And so we used to be hanging around. He was trying to, just show me around. And we used to go to Jhumka Bakar and here and there. And I still have photographs. In fact, I just moved home. So I was looking at an album. I have a graduation picture, which I will show it to you next time. But Ali and I are in it. So I definitely have lots of. I'm really surprised that we're both in Mirzapur and we're doing this. Even when we bump into each other on set, we didn't have any scenes, but we did bump into each other, and I
Yeah.
think the background helps. You're just much closer to each other.
Yeah, he said that. He said even though Shreya was probably in college at the same time, it was you and him that used to hang out together because he never really knew Shreya
Yeah,
in
neither
college.
did I actually.
Yeah.
So yes.
But listen, this you've done such a splendid job. I can't begin to stop appreciating what you've done as Madhuri. Um, it couldn't be easy because she's very conflicted as a character. I mean, here's a young widow who, against her wishes, is being helped. Is helping her politician father. When it came to you, obviously, it must have come with the Mirzapur beautiful baggage, and by beautiful baggage, I mean how well season one did. So it's difficult to say no.
Baggage, I call it. Hello, Bhopal baggage.
But what was your first thought when you saw the material? When you saw what this character is all about?
So when I didn't know what my part was, right? I auditioned for it. I casting day, Abhishek Banerjee Anmol, they cast me for it. I didn't have to go through 88 rounds of audition, which I was mighty happy about. And next thing I know, I go to meet the makers and I see really three giggly boys there. I said, wow, these guys are the makers of Mirzapur. That's fantastic. Let's do this. And then I got the script. So Mirzapur, whatever role I would have got, I would have done it, even if it was a 2-minute part, right? Because it's Mirzapur, and it comes with a certain
Yeah.
tag franchise and the wonders of Mirzapur. So I would have done it. And then as I was flipping through the pages, I said, "Holy shit! I am in deep trouble. This is this is not." I didn't think anybody was going to cast me, as a politician's daughter. So now when people ask me what kind of roles you want to do, I actually now don't want to tell anybody what kind of roles I want to do. Because I was so pleasantly surprised that they cast me after one round of audition for a part like this, which is a nice, chunky, meaty part, to get in such a nice, big show, right? So the first thing I did is I called my acting teacher and I said, देखिए, बहुत we actually read the script together. So my acting teacher is Prince Kaval. He's done theatre in Bombay for 21 years. And we sat on this role for 3 months.
Wow.
Yeah, because I realized at the look test, when we were just doing photographs, Madhuri and Sari, they were just trying to get the look right that day. And that was about 4 months before we actually went on sets. thankfully Excel is very well planned, so that's great. So I we went and I had to pose like a politician, right? So I was trying to do pictures like that, and I was trying to do the politician gestures, the typical one. I realized, man, I can't do any of this. This is just not a part of me. It's not flowing. So I knew I was in deep trouble that day. The pictures, I'm sure, were very bad. So, and also you have the whole crew. You know, you have your DP sitting there. You have your directors. And for some reason, I had ordered 2 crates of blueberries that day. So in the middle of me doing all of this, 2 crates of blueberries have come in. So they're asking us, what are you doing? Are you going to make cakes for us? And I said, no, 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 no. So like, there's too much happening that day. And I figured it was audition. It was, the 3 months prep that, really made things happen for me. If it wasn't for my teacher, I don't think I would have really gone anywhere with this part for me personally.
And the attraction towards Divyendu's character, I mean, it's out now, it's not even a spoiler anymore,
Yeah.
is quite like that fatal attraction. The stuff that they teach you in school as little girls, saying you don't fall for the bad guy, but you always fall for the bad guy. You know what I mean?
I still do.
You do. That's an honest confession. But it is an interesting relationship, isn't it? I mean, she feels very drawn towards this guy because he's very nonchalant. He doesn't give a shit about what he's saying and stuff. And I think that's what attracts her.
He doesn't give a shit about himself. What is he going to give a shit about anybody in the frame with him? So I think you're right. She comes from such a protected, privileged space that it's very refreshing to see Phul Chand Tripathi. When I learned his name for the first time, his actual name, I couldn't stop laughing. I said, ye kya hota hai, Phul Chand Tripathi? Just the sound of it. I had only heard Munna. So I think you're right. It's the I don't know what it is with women and bad boys. I'm still not cracked it.
But the filming of this must also have been fun. I mean, I see all these wonderful old Havelis and kotis, and I'm like, this couldn't all be production design. So, did you also spend time in UP? You get to shoot in any of these old Havelis?
Yes, the exteriors are shot in Lucknow. Though I spent a lot of time outside the Haveli eating samosas and chole kulche and whatnot. That's what I was my writer, my directors were very into food. So that's what we would sit and do. My cameraman Baba sir, we were a food club, I think. So, I think the exteriors were Lucknow, the interiors were Trombay in
Okay.
Bombay.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare. That was a nightmare. I said, Trombay, andheri se roz Trombay, barish ke time jana is not an easy task. So I would take the metro every day. I told production, please आप मेरे लिए वहाँ पर घाटकोपर पे गाड़ी भेज दीजिए. Because the metro is very close to my house here, the station. So I would take the metro every day. I said, I can't sit in a car for 3 hours, come to Trombay every day. So that was the
You
inside
you
Haveli and outside Haveli
you
experience.
do realize. I mean, I'm Tamil. I'm not Malayali.
Oh,
Of Tamil descent, but you do realize that you can't do stuff like that in the south, especially in Kerala. You can't take a metro train and things like that. You'd be mobbed, considering how famous you are. I have so many friends and relatives in the south who are willing to bribe me now to see you online. That's how famous you are. So you can still do that in Bombay, can you? You just get a hop on a metro.
I do that in Kerala also. I do that in Bombay also. I promise you, with social media, nobody cares. I mean, things are not. Back in the day, when you saw an actor, it was just as if they had come out straight from the television screen or something. Like, oh my God. But I think now with social media, the public is also, every day you're sort of in. We're putting out our private lives. We're putting out. Hum chai pee rahe hain, hum
No,
coffee.
I just think you're very sweet and you're very modest. It's like you saying that you entered Xavier's and no boy gave you attention. Those things don't happen. You're very beautiful, Isha. So I want to come to that South Indian career in terms of the fact that you're a child of the movies. I mean, your dad is was been in the movies for the longest time, been associated. Why don't we see more of you north of the Vindhyas? We want to see you do more stuff like what you're doing just now for Mirzapur. Or you're just so busy with dates, that you can't give yourself that much time.
I'm jobless as we speak. I promise you, you, I'm jobless as we speak. Uh, I am not even nitpicky or choosy. I just want to do, for me, it's a vibe thing. I want to work with really nice, happy people. And South it took off really well. It took off really well with Tattatin Maryatha. Enike Bayingar Ishtamana. Uh, so that the journey started really well and then it just kept dipping. So Hindi also, I think if you do really well, there's sort of a set route. If you do really well in Tamil Telugu, then they want to see you in Hindi, the makers. But with Malayalam, there's not so much attention being given. So for me, every single part that's happened in Hindi also has been through an audition, and that's why and multiple auditions for one role. You know,
Wow.
yeah. So that's why I'm very thankful to Mirzapur because such a big part, and they didn't make me go. They really trusted me with the part, and that was that's very reassuring in many ways when you've been around for 10 years and somebody just like that gives you a part. So that was like, oh wow, finally somebody is beginning to give me a nice meaty role. And my dad, nobody knows I'm a child from the films. Nobody knows. Like today they'll suddenly turn around and say, "Acha, Vinod ji ki beti hain." I said, "हाँ हाँ, और उनके मामा जी OP रंधन थे." So we do come from that, but I don't think because I think my dad didn't make it. He didn't make it in the conventional sense, right? So
Yeah.
it didn't matter. Because there's so many people who work in the films. It's only the guys who make it get all the attention, right? I mean, that's the...
Which explains why you're so unfilmy. So,
My dad is a very filmy man, though. I think I just categorically made sure that don't have to become filmy. As much as I love him, this trait I am not picking up.
is there a very difficult scene in Mirzapur too? Something that just you struggled with on set. I mean, your prep was great. You just talked about a couple of months on working on all of that. But is there a very crucial scene which you're proud of at the end of the day when you see it, saying, "Wow, I trudged through this"?
So you're right. So 3 months into the prep, it was a absolute. It was very easy for me to be on set, right? Because I knew everything. By the time I had gone to set, and my directors and I remember the big scene when I'm announcing my name in the cabinet meeting. That day I remember, I walked in and I didn't speak to anybody. I just walked in. Usually you go, you're like, hi, hello, your pleasantries are happening and all of that. But I remember that day I had to be really focused. No matter how much prep goes into it, finally it's about when you're on set, right? And there's just so much happening. When you're prepping, it's just you, your teacher in a room. But when you're there, it's like 50 people and there's, how shootings are. There's just so much happening there. So that day I remember I said, I need to be really, really focused today. So I think that scene I really had to get into. But the other thing, I think when I'm crying after, when Munna and my scene happens, when my father passes away, that day I was really irritated because they had crammed 4 scenes in a day. I said, what do you guys think I'm working on a daily soap or what? I was damn annoyed. I said, ye kya hai? I said, Guru, please, you can't do this to me. And 4 heavy scenes. 4 scenes which are completely like different zones. And then I had to cry. And then I had 10 minutes. And they said, acha, fatafat sari badal lo. Phir hum wo wala kar rahe. I said, nahi. Kuch fatafat nahi hone wala hai. आप रुकिए अब मैं भी थोड़ा शांति से बैठूंगी and I think that was the only scene and Guru understood that. I think my directors were beautiful and they really understood कि यार इसको थोड़ा time देना पड़ेगा ये वाले में. So the whole set was chilling and I was also chilling in some corner. But that was the one scene that really got me.
Who's a leading man you worked with that you really appreciated? I mean, you don't have to say Divyendu because you're working with him this one, but I'm just saying.
Oh, Munna Bhaiya, beautiful, everybody knows. Lal Phul, Neela Phul, Munna Bhaiya, beautiful.
Beautiful.
I love this little
Yeah,
jingle.
it's damn good. All the sloganeering is damn good.
Yeah, it was the first day when I walked on set. I think that my first day in Lucknow, when the rally scene happens, and before I walk onto stage, the crowd is already saying this, right? So I said, "Ye kya bol raha hai?" And then I focus, and there's this man doing really like funny kind of moves there.
That was hilarious. He's standing on stage.
Yeah, that man in his red shirt and topi, he's doing like some really funny thing. And the crowd is going berserk over Lal, Phool, Neel, La Phool. I said, bhai, ye kya chal raha hai? So that I think, sorry, what was the question again? Come.
Leading men.
Well,
Leading men.
I think, leading men, so many. Fahadh Faasil is a
Yeah.
really exciting actor I have worked with. Unfortunately, we did a film that never came out, but I had a 2 months vacation in the forests of Wayanad, so I'm not complaining. So Fahad definitely one of them. Saif is really fun. Yeah, except he doesn't listen. He talks. He doesn't listen too much, but Saif is a really fun co-actor to work
During Kala Kandi, you're talking. Yeah.
here in Kalakandi. And I really like the fact that Saif doesn't try to be the senior co-actor and try to tell
Yeah.
you, you know. I
So
think
I'm the
that's
cool one.
yeah, he comes, he does his shit, you do yours. And yeah, and he's quite sweet that way. I think even Ayushmann also, I think because he's on this wicket right now, which is this, I don't know, Golden Jubilee wicket that he's on.
Yeah.
I see a lot of actors telling, being choosing their leading ladies these days. So
Yeah.
I hear, कि that one has recommended that one and that one has recommended that one. I think it was really sweet of Ayushmann not to interfere with my casting
And
process.
say, oh, in Article 15, maybe Aditi should be played by so and so.
Yeah, I know. I think it was really sweet, even of
Sweet.
sir, where I was, 12 kgs excess and I was not in my, but I think they were really sweet about it. They didn't, care about the typical looks and the typical, they just went past and gave me that opportunity that I'm very thankful for.
No, that's because you look so beautiful, even with the so-called excess that you're talking about. And what is this food in
Characters, it worked out.
what is
These
this food in Lucknow you're talking about? I mean, when you were filming for Mirzapur, is it tunde kebab that everybody is it as good as it is?
ഞാൻ vegetarian ആണ് ഞാൻ pure vegetarian ആണ്
Pure,
I'm a
pure.
pure vegetarian since 8 years. So no tunde kebabs for me, but a lot of chaat for me. And
Ah,
Banaras also, I think lassi and there's a special chai you get on the ghats. गंगा के तट पर बहुत बढ़िया कुछ चाय मिलती है मैं और अमित सियाल सुबह सुबह 6 बजे चाय पीने बन मस्का खाने तो मैंने काफी सारे मजे किए साइड में
yeah, and their chaat is not like the Juhu chaat wala here. Their chaat is, I think, they put desi ghee in it. I think that's what it works. That's what works for it.
Full of North India is floating in desi ghee. I think it's desi kyo all the way for North India, and it's coconut oil all the way for South India.
South India. And mustard for the east of India. Kashundi for the east of India.
Kashmir, yeah, and it's so exciting. Every part of India is so rich with culture and food. I love it, and that's why every time I'm traveling on a shoot, I make sure that I'm at the local joints, and I'm because I think food just gives me a lot of comfort. So, yeah,
Did you watch Mirzapur 1 in its entirety, or did you only watch it after you got the part? I mean, there's no harm in.
after I got the part, so even now it's a running joke on set that I haven't seen season 1.
You must be the only person in India or something, or at least North India who has.
Yeah, yeah, maybe. So I've seen only episode 1 of season 1, just to understand the milieu and the dunya of Mirzapur. But I think I like to be surprised. I like to knowing कि बीना मुझे नहीं पता कैसी है कालीन भैया क्या कर रहे हैं मुझे नहीं पता मुन्ना क्या कर रहे हैं मुझे नहीं पता I don't want to know what everybody is doing.
Sure.
But it's just more exciting to be on set and explore. Anyway, it's a new character.
Yeah.
A lot of people find this really strange about me. But it's okay. It's working for me.
It's working. My last question is, what's a skill that you picked up in lockdown? Anything, people are picking up news. Ali was talking about how he's learning Premiere Pro and editing and all that. I was like, wow, man.
Ali, so don't listen to. He wants to learn Malayalam also with me. We just had one round of intro with the teacher, and then Ali has vanished. I hope he's watching this. Ali, I am still progressing with my Malayalam classes. I have done about 6. So I'm learning Malayalam online.
Nice.
എനിക്ക് മലയാളം പഠിക്കുന്നു ഞാൻ മലയാളം പഠിക്കുന്നു I want to
That's good. So that's a really, really constructive thing to do during lockdown. Wonderful.
And I think the most constructive thing I did in this lockdown is be at a farm for 2 months. Yes, I was at a farm for 2 months. One of my closest friends, he's quit the corporate and become a farmer. So he grew like 115 kilos turmeric. I was bathing in turmeric during the lockdown. So he grew millets, rice, veggies, and I think
Marry him, I say.
a very dear friend.
That's okay. I'm just saying. Farm growing millets.
Yeah,
Great investment.
I think
Joking.
I'll let him know. Shall let
Let
him
him know that Rishikesh express recommendation.
yeah. I'll
Marry the fellow.
maybe it's worth it. Maybe I should ask him. Who knows? So, yeah, so I think for me, just being at a farm, I think I know I sound like a typical city person right now, but it was life changing. I promise you.
I'm sure.
Life changing. I mean, I was sleeping at 9 p.m. My phone was switched off almost 2.5 months when I was at the farm. During the lockdown, I wasn't on social media for 6 months, and now I can't stop being on it for the past 5 days. So I'm really. I did a lot of. I think the lockdown was quite a changing phase, as it has been for a lot of people. Thankfully, we're the privileged lot. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Listen, my time is up. I could go on and on. You're absolutely
Time
adorable.
has just started.
And I'm going to hope that when all this ends, I get to invite you into studio and we have, a face-to-face chat. It'll be an absolute pleasure and charm for that to happen, Isha. And well done in Mirzapur too. Cheers.
Pranam.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.